Welcome to Knit Night 56 of the Sweet Lavender Knits podcast. My name is Christine and I'm coming to you from outside of Toronto, Ontario in Canada. Today is January the 31st. We are right at the end of January. It's a Sunday morning and I usually film on a Saturday. Well, I have been from the beginning of this year, but I've had to put off for just one day because I had a couple of errands to run yesterday, as well as I was trying to finish up a project that I will share with you today. Welcome to all those that are new. I see that there are a few new subscribers this week. Welcome to you. Thank you for joining. I hope you like our Knit Nights. It's a weekly podcast and I try to bring a little bit of what I'm working on through the week and share it with you, and hopefully once in a while we will have a finished object to share with you. Welcome back to those that are returning. Thank you for all your lovely comments on the previous podcast, as well as all the likes. All of the links to my social media, as well as anything that I talk about in the podcast, on my show notes, as well as timestamps, are down in the description box below. I have to say this past week, it being a month-end week, it was quite busy at work, but I managed to get my one stripe a day done on the granny stripe blanket that I'm working on. And I've also managed to do spinning 3 times a week. Whoa, and that, what you can see right here, is my spinning wheel. It's a Woolmaker's Bliss, and it is very light, portable to move around. As you can see, I've had to move my chair out of the corner that I usually sit over here, just to face the window a little bit, because it is a little bit of a gloomy day, so I wanted to maximize on the daylight as much as possible. And hopefully you won't mind all of the changes in the background. We're still in the same room. I just keep changing the look around, more just for the light's sake really than anything else. Yes, and that little painting back here is the one that my daughter did, and thank you all for your lovely comments on that. And I did share with her every comment that it was mentioned in, and she is very shy, and she was blushing a little bit, and she goes, "Oh Mom, thank you, and you know, tell your viewers thank you." So thank you. I am very proud of the artistic talent that the kids have. They all dabble in drawing, something that I cannot do but would like to. I don't think I've practiced enough, or you know, I just don't have it maybe. But I'm really glad that they're able to do more than just scribbling on paper, that they can sketch and draw and paint a little bit. Because it's been busy during the day, busy during the work day part of it, in the evenings I've been trying to relax by watching a podcast while I'm doing some spinning, or if I'm doing my one stripe a day, I try to watch a podcast. And one that I came by is one of my viewers. Her name is Chantal, and the podcast on YouTube is called Shanty Knits. So I will put the link down below, but check it out. And she is quite talented. She dyes her own yarn and knits with it, and she's a test knitter, and she has a variety of projects, but she seems to be able to whip up like garments in no time. So I have really enjoyed watching the first few episodes. I always, every time I find a new podcast, I like to watch from right in the beginning, even though it's quite old. I like to see the progression and, you know, sort of follow along with all of the projects that they were working through. So that's what I did. Yeah, so go show some love to Shanty Knits. It's Chantel. She's one of our viewers, and hopefully you know, you will find it interesting as well. I have also been just trying to be a little bit more active. And this was not like a New Year's resolution or anything. It was more concern for my health, and so I started sometime in November, and I've been trying to be more active. So that is something I'm trying to keep up with as well, and tracking on the my little app that I'm starting to be very fond of. It's a daily tracker, and I'll put the name of the app down in the description box. So that's where I track my spinning, I track my 1 stripe a day, and I'm also trying to track the 30 minutes of fitness that I try to do. I'm giving myself about a day or two in between to sort of cheat days if I don't feel like it or if I'm not up to it. And I think it works out better for me, because initially I had just wanted to do like every day 30 minutes a day, because that would be ideal, whether it's a walk outside or getting on the treadmill. And I found that I couldn't stick to it, and then I started to feel a little bit anxious or stressed out about not meeting the goal. So this is the way my mind works, and so I just had to ease it down to about 3 to 4 times a week. That way I have a few more days in between, and if I go over that, then I get a little star to say that I've gone over the, you know, the number of days that I've set. So right now I've set it to four times a week. And so yeah, I would love for you to join me if you know, just need to be a little bit more active. It has nothing about losing weight, or it can be about that, but it is more about just being active in this current lifestyle where we are so I guess the amount of walking that we do in a day is drastically reduced. It's just something. So if you do want to join me, then, you know, we can just let me know, and we can kind of pair up and cheer each other on, and I would like that. So on the calendar, we are currently running our Sweet Lavender SockALong, and today, January 31st, would be the last day. I hope all of you were able to put in your entries, and I will try to close that thread off. I will give it about a day or two, just in case you are watching this after a while and have a sock that you have knit over the time between November 1st and January 31st. It doesn't have to be a pair, it can just be one sock. So put in your socks. You can either hashtag it on Instagram or on Ravelry in the group, and I will draw prizes for the next podcast. Moving on to finished objects, and today I have 2 finished objects to share with you. One I did not complete recently. I actually completed it back in November, but I was holding off to share it with you because it's a hat pattern that I designed for my daughter, and I thought I would just publish it as a pattern, and so I wanted to make sure that I had a proper version of it before I did publish it, and so I thought I would hold off sharing it with you guys until then. So this is the prototype, I would say. It is a simple hat pattern, and it has a little bit of a textured stitch, but I could not knit all of it in the one color, and so I had to use another color and put in a few stripes, and that was why I did not want to use this hat as the design, because I thought you needed the one color to show it off better. So yeah, I'll just show you the top of the hat. Star crown decrease, I believe. So that's that. And this is really nice yarn. It's blacker yarn. Both of them are the same yarn, and they're DK yarn, and this one's called Lavender and this one's Pebble. So I ran out of the Pebble and I had to introduce another color, so I just introduced the purple, and she was fine with it. She actually wore it a couple of times. She has been wearing it when she goes for walks with Charlie, and it's okay for her. But this is the version that I have designed, and these are not been blocked yet, but I think they will be fine to show you. So it is white and it's going to blow out, but I will show it to you as best as I can. Okay, so the shape of the hat, I haven't woven in the ends. Oops. Here you go. So that's the shape of the hat, and I'm gonna bring it closer so you can see more of the details on the hat. So it has a very short ribbing, and then it goes into this pattern, which is mostly stockinette. So lots of straight stockinette rows, and then a break in between with these little textured stitches, which I call snowflakes, and again the decrease in the crown. So let me put it on. It is a fitted hat, and it has just a little bit of slouch at the back, very little. And if you don't like that slouch, what you can do is reduce the number of stockinette rows in the two sections, which I have indicated in the pattern, to sort of bring this length a little shorter so you don't have the slouch. I like the slouch, and so does my daughter. The reason I like it is because I usually have my hair in a catcher, or I will put a ponytail or something like that, so that this is the extra room for that, and it doesn't stick out so much. Now the thing I'm wondering is, I'm going to try putting on a pom-pom on here and see if that gives it a nicer look, but this is what I wanted to achieve, and I have. So here we have a finished object, or we have two finished objects, and you're probably wondering what this is going to be called. I'm going to release it in February, and I thought I would call it Snow Kisses. So it's going to be the Snow Kisses hat, and look out for the pattern. I will probably release the pattern in about 2 weeks, and it has been test knit. And the way I did that this time is to write up the pattern when I was doing this, and then to follow the pattern to a T when I redid this, and I was able to tweak it that way. Of course, as viewers of the podcast, look out for the release video. I would usually do like a special video for the design release, and look out for it, because I always try and give you, as my subscribers and my viewers, a little something. So yes, this is the Snow Kisses hat, and there, that shows off the pattern just slightly. And I'll tell you a little bit more about it when I am releasing it. But today I thought I would share with you some of the extra things that I used in knitting it. So you need to keep track of the decreases. I strongly suggest having stitch markers. It really helps for the crown decrease. So about 8 to 12 stitch markers. You will also need DPNs for the crown as it gets smaller. but otherwise you can use magic loop. If it's a long magic loop, that works too, although I do prefer DPNs. These are Zing DPNs 4 millimeters, and the one needle that I use, circular needle that I used for the hat, which was so helpful rather than magic loop for me, was my Haya Sharps, and this is 16-inch 4 millimeter. So this is for the main body of the hat. For the ribbing, I used a 3.75 millimeter. So this hat was knit, like I said, in blacker yarn. It's blacker SWAN Falkland Island yarn, and it is DK. And what that means is that it is merino with Shetland, and this color is lavender, and the other is the same yarn. It's called PEBBLE. And then the white hat, just gonna put it on again in case you want to see it, and it feels really nice because it's quite cold today. There. So, and as you can see, it comes down like really low on the ears, so it's really nice and toasty, fitted hat, and then you have a little bit of the slouch at the back. So yeah, I like it very much. I hope you will like it as well and be able to knit it up. It's a really quick knit, like you can get it done in a day or two, and at the most it's a lovely weekend project and perfect for February's. Like I know here it is the coldest month is February, and it is just really it's a nice cozy hat. So DK weight, if you have, or what I did was I used 2 yarns held together for this one here. The main yarn was BC Garn. I have this much left of it, and it's 100% organic wool. And it doesn't have a colorway, but it's just like a natural color, I believe, like white. And then I held it together with Drops brushed alpaca silk. I'll show you the label. And I have that much left of it. So I have a tiny bit left, and I have a plan for, well, I have another ball each of these, and so I have a plan for that as well. So those are my finished objects for today. So stay tuned for that, and I have to say that I have done something slightly different with this pattern writing, is to break it down how I would have really liked to read patterns, is to break it down by step or point by point. And I've put in a column with, made it look like a little checklist. So as you work through the pattern, you can just check off each row as you've completed it. And yeah, it's something that I thought I would try out and see if, you know, if it's something that others like to, the format of that as well. So yeah, watch out for that, and the release will be in 2 weeks. Moving on to works in progress, I have been working 20 minutes a day on this project, and it has really helped me move along. I've joined in on CrafthouseMagic Ellie's Craft 20 minutes a day on a long-term project, and it runs for all through the year, I believe. You'll find the details in Ellie's Ravelry page, or if she has it in one of her podcasts, I'll try to find that and link it down below. So I've joined in, and I have entered my branches and buds as my project. And I can tell you, this is a project that I started in October, But of course I started it, I did a little bit and then put it away because of all of the Christmas knitting that I was doing at the time, and then I picked it up again in the beginning of January, and I have been working on it quite a bit. So this is where I was the last time I showed you. I'm not sure if that was it. Yeah, I just split for I had just split for the sleeves at that point. And since then, I've been doing the 20 minutes a day. Well, this week, I've been doing the 20 minutes a day, and it's been able to knit quite a bit. I have not done my 20 minutes for today, but I find that I can knit about an inch in 20 minutes, about 4 to 5 rows. And yes, and sometimes, like, you know, if I feel like knitting just a little bit more, I'll go on. But that's really helped me. So that is a project that I've been doing, and I hope to have it done before summer. It's just slow knitting at this point because it's stockinette and it doesn't hold my interest a lot. But I find that I am able to stick to the 20 minutes a day, and that's working out for me so far. So that is my work in progress. And oh, if you haven't heard me say it before, the yarn I'm using, the main color is KnitPicks Gloss DK, and the color is Velveteen. And I am currently on my 4th ball. These are 50-gram balls, so I'm currently on my 4th ball. It's DK weight, so it goes by pretty well, pretty fast. And I have here, this is the contrast color that I used for the yoke, and it is KnitPicks Swish DK in the color Bordeaux there. And it's a nice bright pink. I am trying to make more garments because I do enjoy garment knitting, but you know, once in a while, if all I was doing was garment knitting, it would take me forever to finish something. And we all like that instant gratification of having, you know, being able to finish things. And now moving on to lovely things. So this week I received this box. It was quite a large box, and I can't carry, it's right on the floor here, but I can't carry it to show it to you. And it was my order of bear yarn that I placed with KnitPicks, and I have received now this is just 3 of them. I have 20. Yeah, these are just 3. I have 20 of these skeins. So this is KnitPicks. The base is something that I really like to knit with, and so I thought I would choose that as the base. It is their Stroll fingering weight, and it's 462 yards and 100 grams. And the Stroll is 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. So it is your, you know, lovely, I found it's lovely for socks, for scarves, for shawls, for, I haven't knit a garment in it, but I'm thinking it will hold up well for that as well. So yes, there, it's very white and blowing out. But yes, so bear yarn, I did mention in the past that I tried out hand dyeing yarns, and I loved it. It was just my first attempt, and I just fell in love head over heels for it. So I have ordered some acid dyes that I thought would be really nice. I have 20 skeins, so my excuse for getting the 20 skeins was that I need practice. But you know, I don't know how to use up 20 skeins of yarn, so we will have to see. The other thing that I received, apologies for the noise, is my linen for the cross stitch. I'm going to show it to you in the cover. It is 28 count cashel linen, and it's a fat quarter size, so 49 by 69 centimeters. And this should be enough for me to do the 3 pictures that I had shown. The cross stitch kit that I had, well, not the kit, the patterns that I had ordered, and this is in preparation for the summer months when I tend to go off a little bit from knitting, and I don't want to stop doing the knit night during those months. So I thought I would just find other projects that'll keep me motivated to have something to share with you. So that was that, and that's the other thing. And along with my KnitPicks purchase of bare yarn, I also ordered an extra US 4 or 3.5 millimeter tips. These are their nickel plated tips, and I find my KnitPicks set is almost, it's like my go-to. Although I do prefer the Chiagu, but the Chiagu, I only have them in the smaller sizes. So anything of the larger sizes, I have 2 other sets that I could use, but I tend to gravitate towards the KnitPicks. So I thought I would just get myself some extra tips that I use more regularly so that I don't have to keep switching them out of the projects that I have them in. One of the things that I've tried to do this year is to try and be a little bit more mindful in a lot of the things, whether it is the way I use or do not use things, and do I really need it. You know, so the whole decluttering started when I started to work from home with the beginning of COVID lockdowns. And I've tried to declutter as much as I can, but there are lots of things that I hold on to because I feel like I may need it at one point, or you know how we are, we always think that we need more than we actually do. But this year I've just made it one of my personal goals as to be a little bit more mindful in the things that we use, and using it well so that it will have a life beyond us. If we no longer need it, to be able to give it off to somebody else. So that is the most part of what I have to share. I just wanted to share one little more thing that I've been doing is you probably saw a glimpse of this in the intro last time, and I thought I would mention that. It is a book, it's called Crockett's Victory Garden, and as you may know if you have been watching me over the summer last year, that I do try to, well, I do spend a lot of time in the garden, and my style is an English cottage garden maybe, and I do like to do vegetable planting and different things like that. So this is a book that we were actually going through one of the gardens in Maryland, and they had a beautiful greenhouse, and we were walking through it, and they had a little book hub where you can pick up a book for free, and if you you just come and return it, you can, or you can bring a book and leave it there, and it's just for it's for you to look, take for free, and hopefully that you do return it. So this is one that I picked up because that is near one of my aunt's house, that we go there all the time, and I picked it up with the full intention of bringing it back and leaving it once I'd gone through it. And then of course COVID happened and we've not been able to go. But so I've had this book, and I thought I would start this year with going through it. So it has all of the things that you do for every month of the year, and the time the climate zones that they use in the book are a little warmer than mine, but so I could just go back maybe a month or so, and it should be close to where I am. So if right now, if we're in January, but their January might be slightly warmer than mine, so I would look for the temperature rather than the month, and then see where what needs to be done during that month. So they have let's see, for December they have things like the potted evergreens that you would buy for Christmas displays, how you can plant them, seed planting indoors, you know, seed catalogs and what to pick out of that and all that. So that is something that I have enjoyed going through, and I'm trying to keep up with it until I can go back and return this and probably add a book or two to that collection that they have in that greenhouse. That was really fun. So I was inspired again. Now I really think I need to have a section called, you know, inspired by. I'm still trying to come up with a good name before I introduce this section, but I saw that Dawn had started a little journal, and she had it laid out by month as to what to plant when. So I thought I would do something similar because yes, that's a great idea. Why not? And so I'm going to be using this book as a guide to sort of plan a little bit ahead. My garden is, it's got a little bit of a hill at the back. In my backyard has a little bit of a hill, and we have some evergreens where nothing really grows underneath. So we have lots of stones and sort of to keep the layers there. But I thought I would be a little bit more mindful in my planting also, and work out a little design and try to do a small section at a time. So last year I did handle one section, which I will share with you when the weather gets better. And so this year I've got an arbor ready to put up once the weather gets a little better, and we will tackle that section, and I'm hoping to put in a greenhouse there. It's a little away from the house itself, so I don't know if it's a good spot, but that is the only spot really that I would have available. But I thought I would just introduce a little bit of that segment because I know I will enjoy sharing more of that in the summer months. So I hope you don't mind me sharing a little bit about my gardening adventures here as well. So I hope all of you enjoyed this podcast. Thank you for spending the time with me, and I hope you got some crafting done, and wishing you a very crafty week ahead. I would love to hear what you've been working on, if you have any thoughts on your plans for February, and if you haven't done so already, do subscribe and join in with our knit nights. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, happy knitting. Bye bye.